This conference will now be recorded.
And so it's 11:11 again. And here with you today is myself, Petra Hoffman,
And
and
Tracy.
co-host Tracy Bach. And we want to thank you for being human. Tracy, I'll let you take it away.
Great. So thanks for joining. And if you're not joining right now, you'll be watching later. Thank you for being human. We're here. Today's topic is going to be about abandonment. And probably a lot of you are going to be saying, well, I've never been abandoned. But there's so many components to the feeling of abandonment and what it does to our bodies, what it does to our emotions, and what it does to our spirit. Probably like Petra and I were discussing that 90% of the population has some sort of abandonment feelings, that they have felt abandoned in some sort of way. So that we're going to discuss that today, and we'll do a card reading. We'll pull a card around that as well. And yeah, we want anybody that wants to hop on now, we invite them to, and we'll answer some questions and we'll create some dialogue and let's go at it.
All right. And so before we begin the topic, we don't have anybody on the channel as yet. We may not. We've been discussing that. So first of all, our credentials. I am Petra Hoffman, also better known as Petrabilities in the industry. I'm a mental health counselor, clinical hypnotherapist. I specialize in past life regression work, which is the fastest modality to healing I've ever seen. And I'm a writer and a speaker. I do motivational speaking, looking for more engagements if anybody watches this now or in the future. And what else? Oh, and I also am the founder CEO of a charity, a federally registered charity. We're able to work around the world. The name of the charity is Hepatitis C Global Initiatives. We were in the stages of changing the purposes and mission statement, as well as the name of the charity, to wearealllight.org. We already have the URL, the website needs work, and we're looking for 2 or 3 more purposes. One purpose being to provide free counseling for those in need. And we need 2 or 3 more purposes. Then we got to do the paperwork again with Ottawa to get the charity changed over. So while I'm talking about that, we have a GoFundMe campaign listed under Hepatitis C Global Initiatives, titled Free COVID Relief Counseling. It's under GoFundMe. If you would like to help and donate or participate and start your own campaign under our umbrella, we welcome you to do that. Thank you very much.
Oh, very good. Very well said. Mine is, my credentials are a little shorter, but equally valuable. So I'm a spiritualist. I'm a psychic medium. I'm also a Reiki practitioner. So Reiki is a healing modality, an energy healing modality. I also am certified in the emotion code, which is another energy healing sort of modality. It's based on emotion having energy and how emotions can sometimes get trapped in our body and give us physical symptoms. I'm also a teacher. So I have a Zoom platform, an online platform that I teach spirituality and how to connect with your intuition and use it in your everyday life. That's me.
Excellent.
And a mom.
I'm a psychic reader also.
Oh, yeah.
International renowned.
One upper. So
Yeah.
there we go.
And I was watching the Gaia channel last night, and this is good food for thought for anybody that will see this in the future that isn't here now. Everything that we do and say, you can listen in the future, and it's going to have the same power as even the card readings that we're going to do with you today. And I've always been one of those, I hate labels. I don't like to label my clients because you identify with it, but I'm labeling myself very ADD. So I've always had all these projects going on, and I get sidetracked a lot. And in this channel, the presenter said that if you hone it down to one thing that you want, that you really, really want, then write it down on paper, which cements it in stone for the Akashic records, for all the universal knowledge. Write it down, and write down, you know, kind of what your payment's going to be for that. This is how I want to help the universe. This is how I want to help humanity. And so what I came up with, and I wrote it down somewhere yesterday, I don't know where. Oh, I do know where. I might read it to you later if I have time. Is my favorite thing to do is teaching and speaking. Okay. Even surpasses counseling, hypnotherapy, writing, and all of the other things I do. I love to speak. I never run out of things to say, as Tracy knows, as anybody that knows me knows. And I love to teach and share the knowledge that I know. And so that's what I want to bring into the world. So I want everyone that watches this to do the same thing. What is it you take money aside? If money was no object, what is it in this world that you really want to do? We are all here to serve one another. And then your guides and angels in the universe, or aliens, or whatever you believe in, will actually open the doors and make that happen for you. If you bring it down to one really important thing, your purpose. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would yours be, Tracy, or do you know?
Yeah, mine would be also teaching and healing,
Right?
speaking. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And you know, there's a component of teaching that you learn so much from your students. You know, it causes you to go in, it causes you to investigate it. You know, if they have a question that you don't have the answer to right away, you're learning in finding out that answer as well. So, you know, teaching and speaking is about learning, it's about sharing, it's about healing, it's about all those things. So there's so many benefits from doing that. But yeah, I'd be the same. I would totally be the same. So I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper, and I will set up my payment plan with the universe.
Yeah, and for me, the payment plan is give me enough to allow me to do that and to live well and have whatever I want when I want it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't ask for the moon, and I don't want the moon because that's just too much responsibility for me. So I don't really ask much in return. I ask for peace. I ask for love, and for my guides and angels to always be with me and guide me and make it as smooth a sailing as possible to really help me find that inner peace and that inner joy would be payment enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Have enough abundance to pay all your bills and have a little bit extra. That's what I always say. A little bit left over at the end of the month. And that's all really anybody needs, for sure. There's, you know, payment enough in just feeling the joy and noticing sort of the growth in your students as well. So growth and seeing them exceed expectations, their own and anybody else's, and going through the process with them till they don't need you as a teacher anymore. That's the blessing, right?
It is.
You know, they don't need you as a teacher anymore. The next
That's
teacher
my biggest hang-up in counseling is I will only counsel you for so long before I cut you loose, because I'm not always going to be there. And so once you've come along, and you know, for some people it's 3 years or 2 years or 5 years, but when I feel that you're ready to fly alone, that you've learned enough skills and enough tools, I will definitely let you go. And
Yeah.
that's how it should be. And there's a real payoff in that when I've had clients say, oh my God, my whole life has changed. My motto and my logo are change your thinking, change your world. And any healer, any teacher will tell you that. If you change the way you think, the self-talk, you will change your world and those around you.
Yeah. Because we
Right?
know that thoughts have energy. Everything in the universe is energy. Everything is energy.
Everything
Thought
is.
is energy. So if we're having thoughts with lower vibration, that doesn't go away just because we're not thinking about it anymore. We've put it out there, and that's what we're going to be manifesting, lower vibration. So yes, change your thinking.
Yeah.
Change your thinking, change your life, change the world. Because it's not just changing, by changing our thinking, we're not just changing us, we're changing all the reverberations throughout the planet into the universe, right? And that's a challenge actually for people that are watching this later, or it would be now if you're watching it. A challenge would be, this is something I do to challenge myself often, is when you're walking down the street, I challenge myself to have a good thought about everybody that I pass. So whether it be, I hope they have health in their life, and it's just with genuine gratitude and love coming from my heart. And so just to see how that changes the world. If you have, instead of being like, oh God, they should not be wearing those pants, have a good thought, like, I hope that they feel secure. Like, give them security in their fashion choices. Whatever it is, like, you just change it. And I challenge people to do that because by the end of the day, you feel pretty awesome. You feel pretty
And
awesome.
and it's so true. If you enter a room, say you're in a room, there's 10, 20 people scattered about the room, and you see somebody sitting in the corner and they are depressed and it's apparent they're in pain, and you can tell by their body language. They don't need to speak to you, they don't need to look at you, and to just send them love and healing. Just send them love and healing, and picture that healing light coming up through your own body, out your crown chakra, because this is where it enters and this is where it leaves, is through your crown chakra. What is outside of you here, your aura, is different. But the loving energy, the loving light, always comes through the crown chakra on the top of your head. And just picture that and imagine it going to that person that's sitting depressed in the corner, and watch how their body language changes. It will. It will. It
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
I have to say, for some reason, I have a block now and then on visualization. And whenever I listen to like a meditation or something asking me to call this light in my body and have it expand, and it's usually a block around my heart, I have a real, oh Lord, I just had deja vu. I just had total deja vu. And that is,
Little going
I'm
on.
timelines overriding one another. It's already happened. But I have a real hard time imagining my heart expanding and the light from my heart expanding. I have a hard time imagining the healing to my gut, which I have problems with. I don't know what it is or why. I believe it's blocks in my DNA that I need to resolve. And so if you have trouble visualizing, work on it, because it's a really, really, really healing energy. And I don't always have it, but it appears. And another thing is, money is also energy.
Yeah.
In fact, most currency in the world is just digital, isn't it?
It's just energy.
They
It's just
got
energy.
nothing to back it up.
Right. That's right. Hey, I wanted to just address your visualization blocks and anybody that has a visualization block. It's not everybody is visual. Not everybody can sit and imagine a light. Not everybody can sit and imagine all of this. Saying the words in your head is enough.
Okay.
I am sending, my heart is expanding. You don't have to see it. It's already happening just by your intention. My heart is expanding. The love is coming out through the top of my crown chakra. The love light is going across the room and hitting that beautiful person, that beautiful soul in their crown chakra, and they are absorbing and using that energy. You just have to say the words, because that's all it is. It's just your attention.
I just learned something new myself. Thank you for that. I was just going to ask you, do you have any other ways around that? Because even in hypnotherapy, I have people that aren't able to really visualize as well as other people. You know, we all have the ability to do it, but some are better than others. And I find myself blocked in that regard. So is there any other method that you can share?
Yeah, so intention is very, very good. If you're somebody that's more auditory, you can associate the sound of your heart expanding. So what would that sound like if you're auditory? What would it feel like? We all know what it would feel like.
Oh, yeah.
What does love feel like? What does the greatest love feel like? What does it feel like when I'm loved? So then send the feeling across the room. So there's ways of getting at it. We're all clair different. Like our clairs are all different. How we receive information, how we send information in a psychic way or an intuitive way is different. So yes, lots of people aren't clairvoyant. They don't see as well. It's not their strong clair. Some people are clairaudient. So like,
can you go down the list? Do you know them?
so clairvoyant is clear seeing, clear vision. Clairaudient would be clear hearing. So that would be your strongest clair, your strongest intuition. There's clairgustance, I think, which is a sense of taste. There is clear knowing, which is clair. I don't know them all off the top of my head. But there's a clear knowing, so you just know things. Clair. And there's one that's about, there's one that's about clear feeling. So yeah, I'll have to look them up because I'm more clairvoyant and clairaudient. So those are my two strongest. On occasion, I'll get smells. On occasion, maybe once or twice in my life, I've had tastes and feelings, but yeah. So how we experience our physical world. So if we experience our physical world, it's very easy to identify if we close our eyes. If we say we're outside in a park and we see beautiful trees with our eyes open, a river running through it, birds in the trees, kids playing a soccer ball, whatever it is. If we absorb that and then close our eyes, what do? Are we still seeing the picture? Are we hearing what's going on? Are we smelling the leaves? Are we feeling just the sense of peace around it? So that's a way of identifying what your physical senses that you're strong, and usually that correlates to your intuitive senses as well.
Love it. Yeah. I love that.
It's fun.
I love that. And I'm also going to suggest that we save abandonment for next week.
We might be just having a little chat this week.
This is a really good topic, and I think we should stay with it. It opened up. And
we were debating about what to discuss, and neither one of us had a strong feeling about anything. So this was just the universe's way of presenting, time to go a little off track, girls, ladies. So that's good.
And that's exactly, Tracy, what I was just about to say, is that this is the universe steering us in the direction that we need to be going today, because obviously this is what people need to see and hear, is this topic today. And we had a choice of several topics, and we had chosen abandonment. We're going to save that one because the universe has steered us this way, and I love it. And I love topics like this.
Yeah.
And this is what's drawn Tracy and I together. The reason that we are so like-minded and have the same knowing. And it really is a lot about inner knowing. Remembering. So there's a thing called the Akashic Records, and that is the universal library. So everything that was, everything that is, and everything that will be has already been written. And we also have our own Akashics. And so when we come into this world, we have a DNA block that wipes our memory for the most part. Okay. And so what's happening now is some of these blocks are being dismissed, being removed. I think that people that are awake and aware and that want to help society are having more of these blocks removed in order to help them and give them new tools. New tools will be coming up. We will be given new tools that we didn't have before. And I think that what was the topic? My mind goes sometimes.
I know. Thank you for being human. I have this fly flying around my
Right? Thank you for being human. But yeah, I can't remember. I went off somewhere.
Yeah. So just talking about we're giving tools, I think people are especially around this time, it's just been such a wonky year, hasn't it? It's been so crazy, it's been so stressful, it's been so full of fear. There's a lot of things that are coming to the surface, and I think humanity is not dying, but they're so desperate to have connection and remember where they came from. And part of our contract, part of our gift, part of our contract with when we came here as souls was that we were given these spiritual gifts. But like you said, our minds are erased, or we have no memories. Our minds are erased, but we have no really memories when we come in, because the universe, God, source wants us to experience things fresh. They want a clean slate so that we can learn different lessons, but we all have a way of remembering. Mm-hmm. And that's through hypnosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
As well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's past life regression work, is remembering past lives. And we can take you to the future, because there really is no time and space. Time and space, if you had to draw it, would be a circle. It's not like past, present, future like that. It's all a circle. And then there's the dimensions, there's the cutoffs. So when you have something like deja vu, which I just had moments ago, it feels as though you've already been there. You've already said that. You know what's going to be said next. It's already happened. And that's a lot of that is also in the dream state. Okay, so in the dream state, we're going to other dimensions. Hell, a lot of us go to other planets when we're dreaming. And a lot of that stuff is premonition dreams. That's another topic we need to write down, is dreams. I find that to be such a rich topic, how dreams affect our lives, and dream journals. And so a lot of the remembering comes in dreams as well, because you can go past, present, and future in your dreams. And deja vu is something that we've gone to the future. We're already in the future when we come back with the deja vu, because it's already happened. And so those are different dimensions of us.
It's a hard concept for people to, like even myself, to understand. I consider deja vu almost prophecy. Mm-hmm. It's instantaneous prophecy. Mm-hmm. So you're giving the information that's happening 1 second from now, a millisecond from now, and it's already downloaded, and then you live it. So it's almost like the gift of prophecy. So premonition would be the gift of prophecy as well. Mm-hmm. And it is a great gift. It is prophecy is not only just about premonitions or omens or things like that. Prophecy can go backwards as well. So a lot of psychics will use prophecy to almost predict what happened in sort of the past, even though we're talking about time as a circle. As human beings, we need to have past, present, future. That's just how we think. It's just how we think. So prophecy can be, an intuitive person can look at prophecy and look backwards as well, forward, sideways, all of that. That's very interesting. Yeah, I think that people don't give themselves enough credit for being psychic. I know there's vibration around saying somebody is psychic. Now, when I say psychic, I mean intuitive. We are
Mhm.
animals. We're born animals, like with an animal body, the meat sack. Again, back to the meat sack. If we were cave people at the beginning of time, we, as meat sacks, we needed to have intuition to stay alive. We needed to be able to have
Yeah.
to, feel energy behind us if it was a saber-toothed tiger, right? We needed to have that. So it is part of just being human to have intuition. So
Well,
I
also animals. Animals have intuition, or they wouldn't know how to find their prey or that they are prey,
yes, or find their mate. They would die
or
out.
to find their mate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I love this topic because every single human on the planet can tap into their intuition, use it in their daily lives, and make their flow through their life better, easier. It's about connection. Um, we all come from the same source of love. And so, why would that source of love not want to give us the best shot at this human life or all of them? It's about purpose and there's a little bit of faith, and I'm not talking religion, there's a little bit of faith that goes into using your intuition.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, over the last probably, I'm going to say 10 generations, maybe even more, we've been conditioned to not rely on our intuition. Do you see that in your day to day?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, very much so. And people that just close the door on it. They think of somebody, and that somebody knocks at the door, and they blow it off. They just blow it off. They're not aware of it. And if they are aware of it, they blow it off because they don't want to believe that there's something more powerful perhaps than that they can tap into, because then they would have to listen to the hard things and have to deal with that, and they wouldn't be able to put themselves in their little bubble of security,
Yeah.
um, which is going to burst for a lot of people anyway in the future. I hate to
Yeah.
be able, hate to tell you, but that's why we're here, is because we want to help you through this really hard time. And a lot of it is remembering, and deja vu for me, bringing it back to deja vu, I believe it's also a sign and a message that we're on the right track. And I would like to bring it back to deja vu, because I've had deja vu as long as I can remember, where I have moments in time that I know I've been there before. They're almost snapshots, little video clips. Um, had it my whole life. I had it so much, I had a dog named Deja Vu. I named her Deja Vu, Deja for short. There was a 5, 6 year period here on Gabriola Island. I've moved back to this beautiful Pacific island 15 years later. I was in a really hard place at that time. My children's father had passed away. I had just had an abortion, and it was just a really hard time for me. And I ran away to this island, and I hit the deepest, darkest depression period of my life. Never thought I could be depressed. That happened to other people. It didn't happen to me. If I felt depressed, I went out and had fun and conversed, and that took me right out of it. Not this time. And this time, while I was depressed, never, ever did I have deja vu in that period, when I was in deep, deep, deep depression. And I mean, we're talking deep depression where I didn't want to be alive. And the only reason I'm here today is because I was accountable to my daughter. I never had deja vu.
Hmm.
And I always wondered where the hell the deja vu went.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Strange correlation, right? Uh, so that's why I believe that when we have it, it means we're on the right track, because certainly I wasn't on the right track. I was on the track to destruction, self-destruction. I was so destructive.
Yeah.
And so therefore I wasn't having it, because it wasn't the right way to go. It wasn't the right path.
Yeah. It was almost a reverse message. You're
Right?
not, yes, you're not getting your affirmation from your spiritual allies because they're so hopeful that you will change, that you can, for your highest good. And you probably also weren't welcoming them in or asking for help at that time. You probably were so down and so depressed that you didn't even know how to ask for help, for one.
Right,
I've
and
been
so messed up. And I mean, I was using a lot of drugs at that time that I had no clarity at all. And I forgot I had any angels. I just didn't want to be here. If I did, like, take me out, I would look in the corner and I had no goals, no dreams, no aspirations. There wasn't a damn thing I wanted, career wise, financial wise, anything. And I'll say it again, the only reason why I am still with you today is my daughter. Because how could I leave my daughter? She'd already lost her father.
right.
Which, and another topic we're going to go over another day is guilt and shame. Well, you can only imagine how guilty I felt that I wasn't emotionally there for her, because I was so wrapped up in my own muck and mire and my own pain that I was not emotionally there for my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
a hard one to bear.
Yeah. I find that what I've learned in my 8,000 years on this planet is that a component of depression for sure is a lack of connection to who we are, which is love.
Yeah.
I'm not saying for everybody, but I know for my personal story is I wasn't listening. I didn't feel worthy to have angels and guides. I didn't feel whatever it was. I was blocking whatever it was, and I
Yeah.
too went into a really dark space. And depression is funny. I was not listening. I didn't feel worthy. I had no aspirations. But my memories, I remember people trying to say, but don't you remember was so great 5 years ago? And I'm like, no, my memories changed. The perception of things that I had done that were joyful in the moment when I was in my dark space were no longer joy. It was almost like I was possessed by a low vibration energy because it was like I was reprogrammed. And I'm sure you felt the same way. So part of my healing was to some self-forgiveness, of course, but reconnecting. I mean, I was lucky enough to have a strong family base and also 4 children that I had to get up on occasion and take care of them. There's accountability, like you said. But part of
But
my
that's just
healing,
robot mode. That's zombie mode you're going in, right?
yeah, yeah. But just also I feel like my angels intervened for me without me asking, and they will do that when it's a life and death situation. They don't have to, they don't have to be invited to save your life if it's not your time to go. So I really feel like they intervened in my life, and then here I am now. It's been many years ago now, but yeah, so being connected to that source, being connected to that love helped me immensely. And that's what I think everybody should know is that, talking about spirituality, talking about psychic gifts, talking about all of that, every person on this planet is worthy of help from their spiritual allies.
Yeah, and it's not until this topic, it's not until this talk that we're having right now, and I deal with so many clients that suffer depression. I forgot, or I was not aware that during those dark days, I was not in touch with my angels and guides.
Yeah.
I had no base, and I'll tell you how I got out of it and how I got out of the drugs, the hard drugs, is it's in my book that I'm going to burn because it's such an embarrassing book. We're going to have a book burning party. But anyway, I was doing not good drugs with my cousin and the cross-eyed hooker. And I was doing all the buying and they were doing all the using. And then the next thing I know, we ran out and the cross-eyed hooker went out to go do her thing to score some more. And I had dozed off on the couch waiting. And the next thing I know, I realized they're both in the bedroom doing whatever they got more behind my back. And I remember laying there going, I can't do this anymore. I don't want this anymore, but I don't know how to get out of it, and I cannot do it alone. And never have I ever been able to say the word God until about 3 years ago. God just, call it anything else but God. I said, God, please help me. I want to stop doing this. I want to stop being this. Please help me. And the next thing I know, it felt like I levitated off the couch. It felt like I was floating down the hall to the door. I've always been so polite that I would never open somebody's door without knocking first. Well, I wasn't polite. I opened the door, saw them doing what I thought they were doing, and I said to my cousin, I said, I know your family, but I don't want to do this anymore. And don't call me, don't text me, don't write me, lose my number. I'm out of here. And that was the day that I got help, the day I reached out and asked for help. And I had totally not even realized, Tracy, until you just brought it up. And obviously I brought it up with the deja vu as well, that I was not connected anymore. And so basically you're pushing away the help. So why I'm going so deeply into this is a lot of you with the COVID stuff going on, some of you are losing family members, not just to COVID, but to other heart attacks and cancer, and all this is rampant right now because people aren't getting the medical care they need, and some people can't handle the stress of it all. A lot of you are hitting a really dark place and a really dark depression. Please remember that as you listen to us now, that there is help. There is help available from people such as us. Always, feel free to reach out to either one of us. We're easy to find. Petra Hoffman and Tracy Bach on Facebook is a good start. And there are your guides and angels are always there holding your hand, and they're always there in the wings. And so if you're in the place now in that deep dark hole where you have forgotten that, we're here to remind you in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. It is more common, unfortunately, as a human being to feel that. And for me, a lot of my healing was about exploring my natural gifts, the psychic gifts, the connection, and it was a long time coming. I had many, many psychic experiences when I was a child, but it was, don't even talk about it, right? The classic story, don't talk about it. And then you become a teenager and yeah, well, I wasn't scared. I just thought it was normal, but then I guess I got scared after it was like, we don't talk about this stuff. It's a lie. It's whatever, growing up in a sort of Catholic family. Not that I'm, but there's energy around it. So then you go into your teenage years and it's about partying and it's about, I don't want to be different. I want to be the same as everybody else because, I felt different because I was psychic. I knew things. I had dreams. I had prophetic dreams. When people told me not to talk about it, I must be different. Not until just, whatever, 10 years ago, I'm like, I am the same as everybody else. Every other person on this planet has this ability too. It's whether it's tapped into or not, whether it's explored or not. It's all there to be remembered if we choose. Not everybody wants to choose it, and I'm happy with people not wanting to choose it, not wanting to remember. There's lots of things we don't. Maybe it's a lifetime of rest for them, but they don't have to do the light work. Yeah.
I know from doing hypnotherapy that some people, I've taken them to a past life where nothing freaking happened. They were just sailing away, looking at the lake, staring at the clouds, and they chose a lifetime of nothing really happening, so they didn't have to feel all those other things. And so it's kind of a lifetime of reprieve. Personally, I'd find it downright boring, but sometimes I guess people need that reprieve and to choose that life. So it's interesting that
Yeah.
you say that,
Part,
right?
yeah, part of the rest life too is that you might just be the catalyst for somebody else's really wonderful awakening or somebody's really wonderful lesson or learning. Just because
Hmm.
you don't have the dramatic ups and downs that most people have, it's your rest life. You're still a part of somebody else's knowledge gaining. So,
Right.
uh, yeah. Yeah, and as far as like, you brought up the addict and being an addict and or using drugs and that.
That
I
would
always
be
say,
a topic too.
yeah, I always say that the people that are the most challenged that are using, people that are homeless potentially not just homeless because of bankruptcy, but have chosen life to be homeless, the ones that are begging on the street, the ones that are using a lot of alcohol, drugs, whatever that is, the ones that we would call sort of the lower class of society, which I hate to label, and that's not how I believe. I actually believe these people are earth angels. They have given up this life for of this lifetime of being able to have joy, to teach us all some humanity, to teach us all some divinity. So if we are thinking that they are lesser than, they are actually earth angels. They have decided they are going to sacrifice this life so that all else of humanity can learn some lessons. I think those lessons are humility, forgiveness, charity, um, lack of judgment, all of that. That's what I truly believe. That, and it's been reinforced to me through my angels and guides lots of times. So the
Okay.
people that do not get out of addiction and do not, I mean, there's lots that can get out and have a fulfilling life, but the ones that really don't, that spend from like the beginning to the end in addiction or in pain, it's for us. It's for us to learn.
Okay.
And thank you for being human, and thank you for giving up your life this time for us to learn. And now if we're dishonoring God or source or the divine source by not learning what they have to teach.
Okay. Can I
Yeah.
add to the addiction part? Having
Yeah.
been an addict my entire life,
Yes.
up until the last time I used was with my cousin in the cross-eyed hooker, July 2007. Um, so you've put addicts, there are addicts in the category you describe, but let me assure you that there are more addicts in all the other categories.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking, I've done cocaine and crack with doctors and lawyers and cops and the people in the upper echelon. I have grown up in a very, very affluential neighborhood. That affluential neighborhood has more drug abuse than Surrey, which everybody always puts down Surrey, and they especially do. Oh, that should only happen in Surrey. Well, I'm sorry, but I grew up here and I know what happens here. And from Point Roberts to this place is one of the biggest drug runs. And I know that you use with your children. And then there's the pharmaceutical abuse. Okay, that is worse than street drugs. That's worse than coke or heroin or any of it, unless, of course, it's fentanyl laced. But that's worse and harder to get off of and harder on your body than the street drugs. And how many people are sitting in their little glass houses throwing stones going, oh my God, look at that crackhead addict from Surrey, when they're polluted on opiates, sleeping pills, tranquilizers, antidepressants, and they're polluted with it. So there's so many different pockets and areas of addiction and that addiction covers, and most of them are the upper echelon. I know
Mhm.
lawyers that can't go to work unless they got their rails with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I know doctors that use
Yeah.
that can't perform a surgery unless they're high. I
Yeah.
mean, It hits us all, but don't ever sit up on your pedestal and look down on the junkie that's living on the street and think you're better than that, because you're
That's
not.
yeah,
And
that's
I'm sorry, but I've seen it my whole life. I've been with people on both sides of the coin and all in between.
Yeah.
Every age, every color, and so many different addictions. And pharmaceuticals are the worst.
yeah. And that was kind of my point, is that instead, which is the challenge, instead of labeling, you brought up labeling
Yes.
very early on about the ADD. So instead of labeling junkie, blah, blah, whatever it is, instead of labeling, what if we went to a place of love and thankfulness and gratitude
Yeah.
for everybody, whether it be the lawyers and the doctors, they will have a chance to come out of their addiction. The junkie, labeling the junkie on the street that's never going to come off because that's their life contract.
Yeah, but I've seen them come off.
No, not everybody.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm saying there is a
Some
potential.
doctors never come off. Some lawyers never come off too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not trying to label. I'm not saying everybody that's on the street that's using drugs is never going to be able to come off. That's not. I'm just saying that the people that don't. So there are a few that don't. Those are the ones that
you're talking about Earth Angels. I get it.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify it because it's the life I've lived, and I had to be very clear that
yeah, there's different, and everybody has the opportunity.
It's not just drug addiction. We've got food addiction. We've got shopping addiction. We've got gambling addictions. There's other addictions. Addiction is addiction, and addiction is a band-aid to fix what's broken, to fix the pain from our past.
Yeah.
Okay. People that don't have a really painful past will be in a car accident, say, and be put on opiates, walk out of the hospital and quit doing it. Whereas somebody that has had a painful past, that is prone to it, will be given those drugs and can't get off it again. Okay, so there's so many, and addiction is going to be a topic all on its own on this. It's a deep topic. It may even need a part 1 and 2, just because it's wrapped up so much of my own life. And, I really had to find my way back to God through it all, because there were no guides and angels or God that I could see while I was in my addiction. Didn't see them, didn't feel them. They didn't exist for me. I was a broken unit. And you focus on the negative. So anyway, we want to remind anyone in deep depression and anyone in deep addiction, your guides and angels are there. And to remember that and to call up on them, because the more you ask for help, the more help shall be given. And your guides and angels can't intervene in your addiction or in your depression or anything else unless you specifically ask. And specifically ask what it is you want and what it is you need. They cannot intervene. That's the golden rule of the universal plan. They cannot intervene. And anyone doing the kind of work we're doing will tell you that they cannot intervene unless you specifically ask. And it was in that moment on that couch when I asked God to help me because I couldn't do it alone that I finally got the help.
Yeah.
And I had to hit the rock bottom, my second rock bottom, in order to ask for the help, because I was too proud, maybe. I don't freaking know why.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's not that the God and your angels and your spiritual allies weren't there. They were there, but you just were in a place where you couldn't recognize it.
Yeah, they were there.
Yeah. And trauma, you brought up a thought for me. Trauma, pain, all of that. There's a lot of sort of abandonment feeling of God abandoned me. This life that I'm living is so painful. Has abandoned me. So that abandoned, even though we weren't going to talk about it. But also I'm mad. I'm mad at God. I'm mad at Jesus. I'm mad at my guides. I'm mad at my angel, whatever. I'm here to tell you, they don't mind you being mad. They don't mind. if you need to be mad at them right now, they're still there and they still love you as much. They don't get hurt feelings. They don't get hurt feelings. They don't have judgment around you. They understand why you're mad. They understand why you feel abandoned. But all it takes is, I need you back in. I need help. Please help. Thank you for helping. Right? So it's interesting that people will have, anger towards their angels, guides, God, source, universe, because of circumstances. And then they have shame around the being mad. And that just removes you from the divine source of love again. It just removes you farther. It puts up more blocks. So I'm here to tell you, if you are mad right now at your spiritual allies, that's okay. They're still there. They're still standing by you. That is their divine job. You are their job. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you have your own team of guides, and they're looking for work. If you went to work every day and nobody gave you anything to do, you'd be bored. Boring, will ya?
That's right. You do not want to be bored.
Because there is help. Doesn't matter where your rock bottom is. In depression, addiction, PTSD, abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, wherever that is, there is help available. Okay, we're gonna do a card and then save a couple minutes at the end to let them know how they can donate or participate.
Okay.
This program, by the way, is not going to be free forever, so it won't be much, but it'll all go to charity and to pay for the platform and maybe some of our time, and the rest goes to charity.
Perfect.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
I went first last time. You go ahead. You're up.
You went first the last 2 times.
Oh, there you go. It's well past your turn then.
I knew it. I knew you'd get me today. All
Nah.
right. Let's do this.
Oh, I had a bunch of jumpers here.
Woo! Love it when they jump. Here we go. Popped out. Now these are different in reverse than they are if they're facing you. So let's see. Oh, anxiety. Isn't that quite appropriate? And so it's coming up that you need to deal with it. So if it was this way, it would be something that maybe you're aware of. More so, it would be in the foreground, and you would be aware that there are ways that you can get help to deal with it. But what's actually happening right now is that perhaps you're in such a deep depression, perhaps you're in such a hole right now with stress, anxiety, depression, and all those feelings of not being clear-minded, that you're not addressing the problem. Okay, and that's why it's coming to you in reverse today. So please be aware that you need to deal with that, especially anxiety. Anxiety will make your heart do crazy things that really aren't good for you. Anxiety releases hormones and cells in your body that make your body sick. It needs to be dealt with, or you will physically become sick if you leave it untreated. So please get a hold of us. My website too is petrabilities.com, or on Facebook.
Beautiful. Well read, my friend. Well, I had a couple jumpers, so, and I think it's going to just be expanding on yours. I am using Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light today. I was very strongly directed that I need to tell everybody to wear some pink in the next couple months, and then over the, like, wear whatever that looks like for you, wear some pink. So I did pick a pinkish deck.
Why?
Pink is about love. It's about universal. It's about self-love. So that was even before the program started. It was downloaded to me to share that everybody should wear pink. And I'm not wearing pink. I'm not wearing pink, but I will be wearing pink. So I think the first one that popped out, I'm going to read second. This is Joel Cole. So Dharma unfolding. So just on the topic of anxiety. So this is all about walking your path, walking your journey, taking steps, getting to a goal, having a future. It's about, but this one is warning us to take one step at a time. So when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're feeling anxiety, depression, it takes one step at a time. And that step might be a thought. The thought may be, in 1 hour, I'm going to get up. The thought may be, I remember when I used to like to wear mascara. The action, it has to be one little step at a time. So this is just reminding us to understand our limitations because of anxiety, depression, just the way the vibration of the planet is right now. You are still on your path, whether you're physically taking a step forward or whether you're standing still, you're still on the path. The journey is still happening. So don't forget that you have as much control on what you choose as what you feel lack of control that's happening in the world. There's some things we can't change. There's some things that just happen for happening's sakes. But right now they're just saying you still have a choice in it. And if it means that you are going to wear pink socks, they understand that that's a step in the right direction. You're still on the journey. And so the Kali Ma, which is one of my favorite goddesses, Kali Ma, this is all about facing the fear. So when we're having anxiety, depression, we feel like we're not connected, we're not on our journey, we're not taking steps forward, we call in Kali Ma. She'll burn everything, all obstacles out of our way so that we can continue on our path. She makes no bones about creating chaos, but the peace after the chaos is what we need. So just get a fire in your belly. Don't worry about fear. Yeah, Kali Ma. Kali Ma will destroy everything. It feels like she's destroying everything, but she's actually a beautiful soul. She's just a fighter. She's a warrior. So she's here. The fear should not stop us. Do not be fearful. Keep working on your journey. And sometimes you're going to have to make some noise to be able to get to the place you need to get to. So that's my little reading for you guys today.
Yeah. And you know what? Change comes out of destruction or pain or something breaking. And so what's happening right now, this isn't all, I mean, we could get into some controversy, boy, could we? But this isn't all about a virus called COVID-19. That's not what all of this is about. This is about restructuring. But before we can restructure and rebuild, things need to crumble. And this is what we're seeing. Governments are crumbling. Celebrities are crumbling because the light is being shone upon some of the bad things they do. Corporations are crumbling. The school system's crumbling. The medical system is crumbling. Everything needs to be rebuilt, but it first needs to tumble and fall. And that's what's going on with the world. And right now, the world is at a standstill in order for you to connect with your inner spirit, your inner guides, and to find peace and joy, although you're surrounded by the chaos. Okay?
Yeah.
You can find the peace and the joy even though you are surrounded by chaos. Okay, so we all need to put our seatbelts on and get to that place. And just like the last card Tracy pulled, is if you sit still and do nothing because you don't know what the frick to do, you're doing something because you're doing the inner work.
That's right.
That's the hardest work.
Yeah.
Is the inner work. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So forgive yourself for not being where you thought you should be.
Correct.
Spirit will always put us where we need to be for our highest good.
Yeah.
And you know, chaos is an opportunity. Pain is an opportunity. So, reframing what we're all sort of living now into, oh, this is an opportunity. That's
and I've seen a lot of clients lately, card readings, counseling, and such, that have actually recognized and told me that they see this as an opportunity to do the inner work. to do the self-reflection, that now they're not having to go to work every day, so they have the time to go within where they didn't have the time before. And so this is actually an opportunity and a gateway for us to connect with ourselves and to connect with spirit and to connect to one another, because we are all one. It is 12:11 and we gotta go, so look us up. Please donate or participate, and we will see you at the same time again next week, 11/11, Tuesday, whatever the date is next week.
8th. See you then. Bye.
Bye.
You're still recording.